Welcome everyone. You are watching How is Life Behind Your Lens. We have a special guest today. His name is Devontae. For anyone that's out there listening or know anyone and that would like to share, I think that this can be very informative and can help people to also heal from this particular situation. So we're gonna get into it. How are you today?
I'm good.
You're good? That's wonderful. You look good. I'm so glad that you stopped by.
You look good too.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Dante, what do you do today?
Finally got accepted to the police academy, so I started that soon. So
I wanted to go back into your past, so I'm just gonna ask you a couple questions, and then we'll just ride through there. Okay. So you were about 8 years old when you went into foster care, or were you younger than that?
I was 6.
Okay, so you went to foster care when you were 6. Mm-hmm. Can you kind of tell me how that beginning process was and why you went?
Okay, so I was 6 years old. My mom roommate at the time called DFACS and let them know that my mom was on drugs. DFACS came to investigate, found that there was cause to remove us from the home, which they did. We went to the DFACS office. It took a couple days, but they found us a home. But they had to split us up. So 2 of my sisters went to another foster home, and then 3 of us went to another one. And my oldest sister, because she was old enough to say what she wanted to be, was able to stay with my mom. And that was the process.
Okay. And have you reunited with your brothers and sisters today?
Yeah.
Okay. How long were you in foster care? They released you at 18 or 16?
21.
Oh, okay. What was the first set of parents that you had? How was that relationship?
Miss Dorothy Jordan, 2265 Cresta Drive off of Counter Road. Hated her. Stayed there for 13 years. Had to endure a lot of beatings, being starved, child molestation. You name it, we went through it.
Right. Were you guys able to report this situation?
Well, the first time we did, our DFACS worker had known Miss Jordan for years and had helped her adopt other children. Mm-hmm. So she didn't believe us. And we had her as a DFACS worker for almost 8 years. When we first told her that we was getting molested and beat, she told Miss Jordan that we had made those claims against her.
Okay.
When that lady left, I don't think we've ever gotten beaten so bad. Like thrown down the steps, kicked, punched, whooped with a wire. She then made us go outside with us bleeding and sore. She made us go outside and sleep with the dogs for like 2 weeks. We wasn't allowed to take any covers with us. We literally had to sleep outside with what we had on, which at that time was like underwear and t-shirts. And that was the first time we got severely beaten. She had gave Miss Jordan plenty of children before us.
Right.
And those children went on to say they loved her, but we later found out that the children that she had before us was like respite. And in DFACS, respite is like, you might come and stay for a week or 2.
Okay.
So there was really no connection with those children. We was her second, set of children that she had that was long term. For a while, it wasn't as bad until our mother lost her rights to us. The way that happened was we would have to go to these meetings every month to see how mom was doing and have the state say yes or no, we can go back. Mm-hmm. Our mom had returned to smoking and all of that. And it was times where when we saw our mom, we would tell her, like, hey, we're getting beat. Like, and we would show our scars. Like, she would fight for us. Like, literally be in court saying, no, this lady is beating them.
Yeah.
But you put up a drug addict's reputation alongside a person that has been a foster mother for 20-something years.
She has a reputation of taking care of children.
So, and not only taking care of children, but she had adopted 3 children. So it was like, stop playing with us.
Yeah.
So when she finally lost her rights, that's when the starving became more frequent. We had to start eating dog food to survive. We were eating out of our neighbors' trash cans. biological son, Nicholas Jordan, used to come over and molest my sister. It started with my sister. He would just go upstairs, molest her while Miss Jordan was gone. Or if we had to go stay with him, he would just molest my sister. Then it became the oldest daughter, Santerica Jordan. She would molest me and my brother at first. And it was just her at first. You know, she'd come down there, give us showers, make us eat our pussy, something like that. That went to Santerica started bringing the guys over. And my sister, Marquise, developed a little early. So she had breast, she had butt, or whatever. And so those guys, when they came over, would want a piece of her. And Santerica would let her. Well, Nick found out one day. And he was like, well, they got her, you know, I'll go downstairs with the boys. And that started the whole him touching me. And at first it was just him touching me and me touching him, making, you know. And then it became him pulling it out and asking me to jack him off or whatever. And then next thing you know, it became into sexual. And that happened for like 5 years. We told Miss Jordan a couple of times, and of course she beat us because that's her son.
Correct.
You know, no parent want to believe their child is a child molester. And then she told her son, and you know, we had to go to his house one weekend, and after we had told Miss Jordan, and that man beat me like I was a grown man.
So did you guys tell on Santerica as well?
Yes.
Okay.
It didn't. Miss Jordan just made the rules change. Instead of her sleeping downstairs with the boys, she made the upstairs for the girls and the downstairs for the boys.
Okay.
And none of us could cross those paths unless we was going outside or something like that.
Okay.
And that was that. But then Miss Jordan would always leave, and you know that was our babysitter. So.
Right. So you had to cross paths.
Right.
Which don't really
didn't
even make sense.
Right. But that lasted us. That abuse lasted for like 13 years. Because we didn't leave. I was 6. We left there when I was in my teens and damn near high school. And it wasn't me, actually. I had told my sister them to stop telling because they couldn't endure the beatings, but I could. And it came to a point in my life where I just didn't want to get beat anymore. So it was more like, yo, y'all shut up.
So you didn't want that those two forms of abuse was just too much.
Yeah.
The beatings and the other abuse. Mm-hmm. It was just too much.
It was way too
So
much.
it was like, if we got a lesson one that we can control, let's stop.
Right.
Making it aware.
Yeah.
Because we're not being heard.
We wasn't. And my mom, the last time we saw her, told me to take care of them, which I took serious. So it was a lot of things that when Miss Jordan found out, I would say, hey, no, it was me, I did it. Even if it wasn't me, yo, I did it. Because they couldn't take the beatings like I could. I could take it and endure it, but it came to a point where my body couldn't anymore. I had bruised ribs before, busted lip, eye swollen shut. It was bad for me. So after a while, I just started telling them every time we saw a defense worker, yo, don't say shit. Because I'm going to be the one thrown down the steps, punched in the face, right. Not you guys.
Why didn't they consider taking you guys out of the home and place you somewhere else? If they didn't know what was true or what was false, mm-hmm. Why not place you somewhere else?
So what happened was our defense worker that knew Miss Jordan took us as, no, they're only saying these things because their mother molested them. So they put us in therapy.
So what was her rank? Is it Miss Jordan? Mm-hmm. The caseworker?
The caseworker, I forgot her first name.
So what was Miss Jordan's position?
She was at the foster parent. That was it.
Okay, who was the person that was friends with Miss Jordan?
Her name was Miss Scott Atkins, I want to say.
Scott Atkins.
And she was just a caseworker.
Right, and they took her word, mm-hmm. the board, or anybody above her, mm-hmm. rather than the kids.
Yeah. Once you get labeled as a liar, mm-hmm. and you have Miss Jordan telling them that, no, they're lying on us. They're coming up with these extraordinary stories to tell us. And it's a reflection of what has happened to them while they was with their mother.
What about the bruises? Did that not show? I mean, did they see you like that, or
No.
you was healed?
No, I wasn't healed. What happened was, anytime our caseworker came and we told them, Miss Jordan would jump right in the conversation
And say something else happened.
Right. So they never took us by ourselves a lot.
Mm-hmm.
The few times they did, we tried to show them, and it became, come on, stop. Y'all the kids, y'all probably playing outside. Now y'all want to put it on Miss Jordan. She's been a foster parent for 20 years. She would never do that. We never had any complaints. So they just didn't believe us. And then we got labeled as liars. So then everything after that, once they put it in, and I found that, hey, these kids are liars. Nobody believed us anymore. Even when we showed our mom, okay, one visit we had, my sister told them, hey, I'm getting touched. And at that time she was having sex. And I think my sister at that time was like 8 or 9.
Wow.
And my mother took her to the bathroom, pulled her panties down, and checked her. Like, there should be no problems. If you're a virgin, we should be able to see that. Found out that she wasn't. And she told the DFAS worker. DFAS worker laughed in her face. Nobody wants her. She don't even know how to take a shower. They had it in files that Ms. Jordan had to repeatedly force her to take a shower, which wasn't true. Marquise had got to a point where she was scared to be naked around anybody.
Right.
So Nick came to pick us up from that visit, and my mom and my big sister, Shandar, went outside and was like, nah, Nick, get out the car. We're going to kill him right now. And the DFAS worker came out there, and after that, we didn't have any more unsupervised visits, which means every time we saw a parent, our mom or our sisters, we had to have a caseworker there. And once my mom lost her rights to us, no court would hear her case anymore.
And that's what made you stay. Y'all have to be in that situation for as long as you did.
Yeah.
Because if she would have got well and the case would have kind of still been open, she would have had the opportunity to get you back.
And for a while she did. She did get off of drugs for a while. What happened was the courts kept moving the needle. Okay, well, you can't have an apartment. You need to have a house. So she would go get a house. Then it was, well, you don't have reliable transportation. Okay, cool. She went and got a car. Then it was, well, you only got a 4-bedroom. You have 6 kids. The girls and boys can't stay in a room together.
Right.
So she got a bigger house. Then it was, well, the furniture. You can't do bunk beds. The boys need their own room. They're coming of age. So after a while, all that stress led her back to drugs.
Wow. So do you believe there are some good parents out there for foster care?
Yeah.
Do you believe that the system is broken?
Very. I don't think that they have a good process of picking who foster parents are, because you can have, and I tell folks, a lot of child molesters and stuff like that never get caught. So if you bring, if somebody want to be a foster parent, they have those urges for kids, and they have a stellar reputation, they become a foster parent. So now what you have is broken kids going into a home with someone that have those urges. And if you get in a situation like we did where the parents lose those rights, DFACs just really just want to put them somewhere to sleep. That's it.
Right.
So
you think they lack the true compassion and knowledge or education on the background of a person, and just placing people just to get their job and their daily tasks done for the day.
Pretty much.
Okay.
But I do think there are some good foster parents out there. I have been in some good homes. But for the majority of it, like the majority of the time I was in DFACs, it was fucked up. So
if there was a parent out there who wanted to give their child up for adoption and have not made the decision yet, what would your advice be?
Don't do it. The reason why is because you don't know who these people are.
Right.
And if you are going to do it, make it an open adoption. All that, anonymous, you'll never know who your child is with.
And where they are.
Make it open, because then you can always check on their well-being.
Right.
But I would say no. Sometimes the devil is better. Even if you don't think you're a good parent, I promise you're better than what some of these DFACs.
I agree. I think that as a parent, it's hard, of course, because I'm a parent. Um, but I feel like in life we are, going through these obstacle courses, and it's about our strength. And like if you can hang in one more day or have another day to make a decision like that, rest in that, take a nap, come from whatever emotional turmoil or decisions you feel like you want to make, and just kind of weigh it out a little bit more, because